Hello and welcome to Wellness and Being. During hot weather, many people become dehydrated without even realizing it. And most people think dehydration simply means feeling thirsty. But here's the problem. By the time you feel thirsty, your body may already be dehydrated. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt suddenly tired, a little dizzy, or had a headache on a hot day and just assumed, maybe I didn't sleep well, or I'm just tired? Sometimes the reason is much simpler. Your body may just be running low on water. This is especially important if you spend time outdoors, exercise regularly, or live in a warm climate. Because mild dehydration is actually very common in summer, and many people don't even realize it's happening. So in this video, we will understand how dehydration actually develops, how to recognize it early, when it becomes dangerous, and what you can do about it. Because dehydration can go from mild to serious faster than most people expect. What is dehydration? Dehydration simply means your body is losing more fluid than it's taking in. Under normal circumstances, your body is constantly losing water through sweating, breathing, urine, and other body processes. But in hot weather, this loss increases much faster. And along with water, your body also loses important electrolytes like sodium and potassium. And that's when things start to change. What happens in the early stages? At first, it doesn't feel like dehydration at all. You're just a little off. You feel quite thirsty. Maybe a mild headache. You feel slightly more tired than usual. You stand up, and for a moment the room feels a little light. Nothing alarming, so you ignore it. Most people do. And this is the stage most people miss. Because the first obvious sign, thirst, is actually a late signal. By the time you feel thirsty, your body may already be mildly dehydrated. Other subtle signs may include dry mouth, darker yellow urine, mild dizziness, low energy. So the next time you feel off on a hot day, pause for a second and ask yourself, could this be dehydration? So that was the early signs and stage we spoke about. Now for the next part. If you ignore these early signs, it doesn't stay mild. Your body stops being subtle. It starts pushing back. The dizziness becomes more noticeable. You feel weak, even with simple activity. Muscle cramps may begin. You may feel slightly nauseated, and concentrating becomes harder. Some people even notice their heart beating faster. This happens because your body is trying to maintain circulation despite reduced fluid levels. At this stage, your body is not just signaling, it's struggling. At this juncture, if you don't replenish your body with fluids, this can move into a state of urgency. Because if dehydration continues beyond this, the condition may become severe and the situation becomes dangerous. This is the point where we start seeing patients in the ER. You may become confused. The weakness increases tremendously so that some people even faint. You may stop passing urine. This is no longer just dehydration, this is a medical emergency. Because now, your body cannot maintain normal blood flow to vital organs like your brain, heart, and kidneys. And that's when complications begin. Now here's something important. Not everyone is affected the same way. Some people are more vulnerable. Like children, they lose fluids faster and may not recognize thirst. Like older adults, their thirst sensation is often reduced. Outdoor workers, because prolonged heat exposure increases fluid loss for them. Athletes, obviously heavy sweating leads to rapid dehydration. And people who are unwell, especially with fever, vomiting, or diarrhea. All these groups need to be extra careful. The question everyone asks, how much water should I drink? Well, there isn't one exact number for everyone, but for most adults, around 2 to 3 liters per day is a reasonable guideline. In hot weather or with physical activity, you may need more. A simple way to check is your urine color. Light yellow urine usually means you're well hydrated. Dark yellow urine means you likely need more fluids. Next, what should you drink? And here's where many people get confused or make errors in their choices. But the choices are pretty simple. Water is usually the best and simplest option. But if you're sweating heavily, like when you're exercising, or have had to be in the sun for a long time, your body also loses electrolytes very quickly. In those situations, oral rehydration solutions or electrolyte drinks can be very helpful. Simple traditional options can also work well, like buttermilk, like coconut water, lemon water. At the same time, try to limit consumption of sugary drinks, excess caffeine, and alcohol, because these can sometimes actually make dehydration worse. The good part is, prevention is simple. Drink water regularly, not just when you feel thirsty. Increase fluids during heat or exercise. Wear light, breathable clothing. Avoid peak heat hours when possible, and take breaks in the shade if you are outdoors. And make sure children and elderly family members are drinking enough fluids. When should you seek help? Most mild dehydration improves with fluids and rest. But don't ignore serious signs. Seek medical help if you notice persistent vomiting, confusion, fainting, very little urine, or severe weakness. In practice, most patients who come in with severe dehydration have ignored the early signs completely. In serious cases, dehydration can reduce blood flow to the vital organs of your body. This can lead to seizures, low blood pressure, or kidney injury, where hospital treatment may be required urgently, and doctors may have to give intravenous fluids and correct electrolyte imbalance to stabilize the condition. To conclude, dehydration may seem like a small problem, but in hot weather, it can become serious very, very quickly. However, it's also very easy to prevent. Listen to your body, drink fluids regularly, and don't ignore early warning signs. Because sometimes what feels like just tiredness is actually your body asking for water. More often than we realize, the smallest needs are the ones we overlook the most. And not every problem needs a big solution. Often, it just needs awareness. So the next time you feel something wrong, pause for a moment in your hectic life and think of yourself. Until next time, stay healthy and be well.